Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Courtney. Before we get into this video, make sure that you like and subscribe, of course, because that's always important. And y'all did not tune into my video or whatever, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on? Well, y'all ain't even looking, view it at all. I was like, geez, okay. But, you know, as far as like the views and stuff, I'm still grateful. No matter how many views and stuff that I get or how many likes I get. But, you know, it would help if y'all did like and actually subscribe and don't just view it and just be viewing the shorts and the TikToks and stuff and not, you know, subscribing or anything. Because I know it's the same people doing it. Excuse me. So I am making this video as of, what is today? Today is, you know, you're getting old and you forget the day of the week. I believe it's Friday. I believe it's Friday. Today is Friday. And I was gonna wait until forget the days of the week. I was gonna wait until like Sunday or Monday to make it, of course, because those are my recording days. But I decided to do it early because I had nothing to do this morning, and I just got myself all showered and cleaned up, made some videos, took some pictures and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, why not? If I have free time and I'm up, I've been sleeping like pretty much all night, why not do it now? Now's the perfect time to do it. So last time we left off my last story time, it happened when Bimbo came up to my job and she decided to bust my windows out. Now, why, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with California, of course, because California and me at the time were working on patching things up and getting back together. It was a lot of on and off between those few months, on top of his twins being born at the time. So it was honestly just a lot. And it wasn't even just the drama with her. It was other stuff that I had to deal with as far as other women and just his personality. He just wasn't a pleasant person to be around, and I was getting tired of him. I'll tell you, like, he probably broke up with me one or two times, but I dumped him like 20 other times. I dumped him so much because I just got tired of it. And of course I would end up running back to him, but you know how his personality is, it just was completely different than how it was when I first met him. And I really don't, you know, I don't like the arrogant guys. I don't like the weird guys. I don't like the guys that are, you know, feel the need to disrespect women and talk down to them, call them out their name, you know, thinking that, you know, I'm the prize, you know, which you should think you're the prize. You know, you should always feel good about yourself and think highly of yourself, but not to the point where you're looking down on others, and looking down on the person that you're supposed to be building something with, building a relationship, building a future with. You talk about you want to have kids with me, you want to marry me, you want to have a future with me, but all you're doing is breaking me down and manipulating me and hurting me while you're at it. And that's, you know, that's not real love. And I was slowly but surely figuring that out with him, because it just got to a point I was just like, why do you think he wasn't married that long? I can't put up with that. I don't know how Bimbo and his other baby mama Sweetie and all the other girls put up with it, because it's just too much arrogance, and you ain't even all that, and like and you middle-aged, boy, get out of here. Like, he just displayed a lot of qualities. Kind of remind me of, I hate to say it. And if my dad is watching this, I'm sorry. But yeah, he was just displaying qualities like my father. And there's no disrespect to my dad. It's just, you know, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so that's pretty much where I left off. I want to sit down, but I don't know if this can really like see me, but I think it should be okay. So after that, you know, of course, yeah, I did speak to an officer. I pressed charges because, no, I don't care if you say I'm a police girl, whatever like that. Yes, I can handle myself, and yes, I can fight. But if I know I'm gonna do something crazy where my stupid tails will get locked up too, I'm gonna just handle you the appropriate way, which is to get a report involved in this. Yeah, because you gonna pay for this. Either you gonna pay for it, or you gonna do something gotta happen, because, or I gotta take matters into my own hands. Like, something has to happen. Like, it's you're not just about to get away with doing this. And I was so tempted to go to this girl's house because I knew where she lived, because California had told me. So I was really tempted to do a drive-by, bust her windows out, slash her tires. I just wanted to so bad. But like, I'm glad I have the right people in my corner, like my mom, because when I had said it, like when I told California what I was about to do, I'm sorry, he wasn't really trying to talk me out of it. And, looking back, he probably really liked all this drama that was going on. He liked the fact that all this was happening because of him. So if I would have did the same thing, of course, it would have looked crazy on both our ends. Like, oh, she bust her windows out because of California. Oh, now she went and did the same thing to her. She got her licked back or whatever because of California. And I could see how it was just a back and forth between us, how it looked like we was all both fighting over him. But the reality of the situation is he was literally living 2 double lives or whatever, because California could say whatever he want to say about me. I can't speak for Bimbo, but for you to be dealing with somebody knowing he was in a relationship with me, and then we get married later on and you still dealing with him knowing that he's married, that means you just don't respect yourself at all. You don't love yourself. You really don't love yourself. You are that desperate and that thirsty to be with him, when number one, he wasn't even treating me that good. He's not treating you good. He's not doing what he needs to do and doing right by his children. So it's just like, I don't understand. Maybe your hormones was acting a little crazy because you just had a baby or whatever, but I just would never conduct myself like that as a woman. And I don't look down or talk down to any woman, because like I said, we all been down bad. We all done did some stupid stuff for a man. But I feel like that draws the line. I really feel like it does. And, like I said, if she wants to be with somebody like that, cool, but not me. I'm sorry. And I'm still embarrassed at the fact that it took me that long to, like, get away from him. Because it's just a bunch of drama around him. But anyway, back to the story. So, pretty much like what happened was, the report is being in order. And I honestly didn't even know that anything was happening. I didn't know that there was even a warrant out. Because later on I found out when I was trying to... Okay, I'm not even gonna say that. Well, I'll tell it. Because I'm trying to get these stories out the way. I'm tired of freaking talking about them. They're weird. I keep running to them around town. They keep bothering me. They keep trying to cut me off in traffic and drag race and speed through me in traffic. Like, y'all literally have no idea what I have to really deal with, even after the fact I done got rid of this dude. So, but pretty much me and Bimbo ended up being cordial for like 5 seconds. It didn't last that long, because she just had a little evil plan to try to keep me away from California. Little did you know, like, girl, I wasn't going back to him. But ended up she actually did have a warrant out, and the whole time I'm thinking they ain't lock her up. I'm mad. Like, I'm telling California, like, it's no like charges like being brought to us. They don't got no warrant. Like, nothing's going on. Whole time Shorty did have a warrant. So yeah. But little did I know she had what was coming to her already. But besides that, me and California is still, working through our things. We're still together. I'm still trying to help him out, because I think at this point in time, he still wasn't working. I think it was a couple of weeks before he was able to get back to work again. Because like I said in the last story time, Bimbo just dropped him off trying to be petty and bitter, because he didn't want to stay there with the kids up until they were a certain age or whatever. The whole time he was playing house with her, so he decided to leave to come back and be with me or whatever. And then we just ended up getting married and stuff like that. But I didn't know that part. So I'm thinking, like, even though I had no like issues, I didn't see her around town because of course she probably was laying low. She, you know, you being a punk, you want to bust a rock through a window or whatever, but you can't even show your face or whatever because you know like what you did. But that's okay because I still, you know, when you do weird stuff to Courtney, people don't realize that Jehovah be watching over me, okay, boo? Would Jehovah really be looking out for me? Like you do, he gonna handle y'all. I don't even gotta handle y'all because he gonna take care of that, okay? This ain't even his you know, situation, and he gonna take care of it. He gonna handle it. So, I thought like I had to worry about her or whatever, but honestly, she was, you know, after she did that thing, I think she only did that to like be petty or be weird. And I had went to because this happened at work. Remember, she bust my window out my car at work. So I decided to go, you know, they got cameras in the parking lot and stuff. And it's people that have been fired because they've been caught on camera getting into a fight, getting into an argument, something, which is really a surprise. How many times Bimbo done popped up to my job or whatever over California. Is really surprised that me in California ain't get fired. It's really weird. But I ain't complaining because it ain't got nothing to do with me regardless. I ain't got nothing to do with this. So I decided to go to one of the managers or directors. I think they're in charge of like the communications kind of field or department or whatever of the warehouse. And you know, pretty much they have cameras all around, so they can show you the parking lots. They can show you like, I guess like if it was like maybe in a break room or something, if it was somewhere or whatever, maybe in certain departments. But they definitely do have cameras in the parking lots. It's just in certain parts. So this manager was able to let me see what was going on. And at first I kept asking her, she was just like, we don't have, you know, we don't got nothing to do with that. We can't show you. It's confidential information. I'm thinking, this is my car that got bust out. And I mean, even if it was, whether it's Walmart, whether it's something, if it's going on near your business or in front of your business or in front of the warehouse or this center, you are obligated to give us that footage because that's our property and that's what people are supposed to do in general. So that's what's crazy. And the funny thing is that the officer that came up there and helped me when I filled out my report and everything, he's told me that he was able to, the manager, the same lady I was talking to or whoever is in charge during a certain shift of the day, she showed him the footage of her busting out my window. So you know it's footage or whatever, and it's my car. So I already spoke with the officer, so I feel like I have every right to see that footage or whatever if that's my car that's being like hit or bust open or broken into. So I was just like, but that's Macy's for you, because I got a few stories about that too. But finally, after begging her or whatever, I guess she felt some kind of sympathy, like, oh, this little raggedy little heifer, I ain't no rag about me. But, you know, she probably was like, all right, let me just help her out. You know, that's the least I can do or whatever, as you should, because that's my car. Come on. That's my property. That's in my credit and in my name that I worked hard for and continue to work hard for till this day. So, yeah, she showed me the video. And it's kind of like not too blocky, but it's enough to where I can see. And of course, it's Bimbo's car, whatever, the car that she initially gave to California, but he gave it back or whatever because he kicked her trifling tail to the curb or whatever, like an idiot. And you can see her. She got like this big white T-shirt on. You can see her braids. And, you know, she's brown skin. But in the video, she looked a little bit darker. She looked like she was California's complexion, which was weird because for a minute she looked like her in California, they around the same skin tone or whatever. So, you know, it's not really out of the ordinary for me to think anything different, to think that, you know, it could have been him, because I was just like, but why would he do that? You know, because at first I was kind of thinking like, I know California ain't bold enough and dumb enough, because I would personally mess his car up and then I'll beat him up. I don't want to be like, you know, violent stuff like this, but California, he can't be that stupid to do that. Which it wasn't. It turns out it wasn't him, because when I look back on it, you know, Because I did kind of ask him. I was like, because it looked like you in the video. He was like, I didn't do that. Like, what? And he said, how can I, you know, when I thought about it, excuse me, I said, how could he have done it when he was with the babies? He got the baby. She the one running around town making moves, busting windows and taking names. Like, I don't, you know, like, I didn't, I thought about it, like, how could he do that? Cause he got the kids and she running around town, whatever. That makes sense. Yeah, you're right. But that's how my crazy mind works. I be thinking everybody, like, you guilty, you guilty, you guilty, you guilty, all y'all guilty. Cause I was making a lot of enemies around that time and I didn't even have to do nothing. And still to this day I do. But, you know, she played the video back and she was just saying, yeah, you can see the suspect getting out the car. You can see her walking up to the window, whatever, kind of looking like she's about to do something or whatever, like she's looking in it. And then you could see, I couldn't really see the rock or whatever. I saw the rock in the back seat of my, I'm trying to even remember if it was even a rock, for goodness sake. Like, I don't even I remember something. I know it was glass. It was a whole bunch of glass on the ground. Glass still falling, like shards of it still falling from the window. The back seat full of glass. The back seat floor full of glass. I think it was a rock. I think it was. But, or maybe she took it with her. I'm not sure. But in the video, I did not see her with the rock in her. I just saw like her hand like go, you could tell probably something was in her hand, but it looked like something was going against the window and it busted, whatever. So yeah, I was like, yeah, that was that raggedy heifer. So she did show me the footage and she showed how she got in the car, drove off. And it's crazy because when I look back at the footage, you know, our shift starts at 6 a.m. Now, like I said, at this time, even then, I like to get to work early, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes early, so I can have a place to park, so I can get my stuff set up, get my stuff in my lockers or whatever, put away anything I need to put away, and make sure that I clock in. Because you are allowed to clock in 5 minutes early, and that's what I did. Clocked in 5 early, clock out 5 early. So, I had already been in function and did everything, but when I looked back at the cameras and saw the time, it was still like the sun was rising, like the sun was coming up. But you know how it is when it's in the morning for certain times during, depending on the, you know, the savings, daylight savings time and everything. So it was like the sun was just starting to come up. So it was still early when she did this. It had to have been around like 6:30, 6. It was around 6 something, but I believe it was like 6:30 to 6:45. And I was like, I'm just looking at it because it's like, that's not that long. She came up here immediately, like, she like, it wasn't even that long before. It wasn't even that long after I clocked out or whatever, it got started for work. So I was just like, this girl is cool. It wasn't shade wasting no time. She had a mission. She probably wrote it down on her to-do list to put in her notes. Like, all right, wake up at 5 something. Wait for her to go in and clock in at 5:50 something. Then, you know, drive past a little after, half an hour after 6. Like, she probably, knowing her crazy brain, she probably came up with that stuff. It's like she a bimbo. She is kind of ditzy out there. But when it comes to doing, like, you know, crazy stuff, like, she can use her brain. I think that's the only time she actually uses her brain is when she has to use her aggression or take her aggression out on other people. That's the only time she uses her brain. But anyway, but you know, I thought she was only starting trouble with me. Little did I know, she's starting trouble with California's other baby mama, Sweetie, the one I named Sweetie in the last story time, because she's real sweet. Like, California's told me nice stuff about her. But at the same time, he's told me Bimbo does not like her. Bimbo has pulled up at her house, pulled up on her at her job, confronted her numerous times, cussed her out, started screaming, almost got Sweetie, you know, evicted from her apartment and stuff like that. So, but this time, when Bimbo pulled up on Sweetie, California's other baby mama, it went down. Like, it went down. So I guess once she saw that, okay, bust my window out wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna, oh, hold on. Make sure I don't bust my head. Okay. So I guess she found out, like, oh, once this busting my window out wasn't gonna work, wasn't gonna stop us from like being together, whatever. Because really, at the end of the day, all it's shown is that you're bitter, and you mad. And not only that, but you really were just gonna drop your kids off to their grandmother or whatever. Like, I get it, that's their grandma, but that's not her responsibility to take care of them. That's yours. You in California decided that y'all want to have these kids. And so you bitter in your feelings, you want to take that out on his mom, and you or his mom supposed to be friends. Y'all supposed to be close. So she's supposed to be close friends with the mom and the sister. So apparently she met the mom before her. So close. So close. 20 minutes in. So close. And I said his name. That's okay. I'm going to edit it out. Yeah, Bimbo and California's mom had been friends before she even met California. So I was like, why, this is supposed to be a friend or somebody you close to or whatever, and somebody that you care about, and you just dropping your kids off because you mad and in your feelings. But I think a reason why she did that was because she knew it would get back to California, of course. And that was the only place that she knew she could really drop them or whatever. So, anyway, so he still has the kids. He still got the twins. And I guess she decided, okay, now it's time. I want my kids back now. I done dropped them off and try to make you mad or whatever. You done missed work for a few weeks. I bust your girl's window out. That didn't work. Y'all still together or whatever. Nothing's going to change or whatever. So now it's time for me to get my kids back. It doesn't work like that, Bimbo. Your kids are not a pawn. They're supposed to be your flesh and blood. You birthed them. You gave birth to them. You gave them life. And you playing back and forth like this a game of hot potato with your own newborn baby twins? Really? Who does that? And you middle-aged, you in your 30s, you are too old to be acting like this. I would never ever do that with no man, especially when it comes to my kids. My kids are, at the end of the day, whoever chooses to take responsibility, at the end of the day, they're my responsibility. And I just feel like the way she handled it, your little babies, is just insane. The stuff that some women will do to keep a man or whatever. A baby ain't gonna keep no man. And you playing back and forth, playing these little games, it's not gonna keep them either. So I guess she decided to pull up to Sweetie's house. Come get the babies. Now, I didn't find out this till after. So, it's been like a week or so that's passed. I think actually it wasn't even a week. I think it was a couple days. It was a couple days since that happened. And so I think I was probably at home or whatever when California called me. And he was just like, yeah, like all this stuff just happened. Pretty much he said that Bimbo came to Sweetie's house, was banging on the door or whatever. Sweetie answered the door. I guess California eventually comes out. The babies are inside. Excuse me, mind you, they're twin babies. These are babies. Come on, these are babies. And, excuse me, you doing all this acting a fool, and you got your newborn babies in here. So she comes, I guess Sweetie answers the door and was just talking to her. And Bimbo was mad because she said that California was trying to keep her kids from her, and why are they in the Sweetie's house or whatever, like what's going on or whatever. And Sweetie was just like, I understand they're your children or whatever, but they're also California's kids, and you don't got no right coming up into my house or whatever, or trying to come to my apartment trying to start some drama. And I would have said the same thing, because I wouldn't even answer the door. I like, who is this? Oh, and then I would have just called the police. The only thing that I can fault Sweetie on was that she entertained that mess, because look, those are your kids. I can't keep you from them. But if I'm not mistaken, you dropped them off to his mama. You didn't want to, you wanted to act like, oh, have fun being the daddy. What are they yours now? Now all of a sudden you want to come back and get them because you salty and you mad that your little plan didn't go how you wanted it to. And I'm not like getting on her or making fun of her or anything anyway, but it's just, you're being so childish. And you got to make these babies pay for it. And you think you can just be walking up to people's property or walking up to people's houses and apartments all willy-nilly. So about, I want my, who do you think you are? I would have told the same thing. No, I'm not doing it. And that's between you and California. So I guess California decided to come out. He comes out or whatever. Oh. And they start arguing and stuff like that. And Bimbo is trying to get into Sweetie's apartment or whatever, and Sweetie is like blocking her, and she pushed Bimbo or whatever. So Bimbo backed up, and then Bimbo just started walking up like she wanted to swing on her or whatever. And I guess Sweetie kind of like backed up, or she didn't want to fight her or get into it or do any of that stuff with her. So California and Bimbo start getting into it. She's like, why you taking my kids? Where my kids at? I want my kids or whatever. And then before you know it, her and California getting into it, yelling and screaming. Bimbo pulls out some mace and she just starts like, and it's all in California's face. So he's got all this mace in his face. And he showed me the video later on. So it most definitely happened. It's very real. And he showed a number of people. So I'm not cool with most people, but I'm sure a lot of them can corroborate my story because it's very much true. So she maces him. Next thing you know, I don't know what happened, but I guess Bimbo runs outside or whatever, and Sweetie's outside, and she's trying to, I don't know what Sweetie was trying to do with Bimbo, but they ended up like tussling and fighting, like throwing down, like, but California is recording it from what I see. So he's trying to record it, but once they start to get the tussling, I hear neighbors like, hey, break it up, whatever, like getting involved or whatever. And then the phone goes down, and then the next thing you know, California's neighbor comes and helps him. I think she had, like, from what he told me, she had goat milk, well, I guess is good for the mace. Any kind of milk, but goat milk especially, is good for mace getting out of your eyes. So she helped him into the kitchen or the bathroom, and she rinsed his eyes out, you know, while they're still fighting. And so I guess, dang it. Okay, I'll edit it. It's okay. I guess Sweetie decided to call the police. So she had already called the police already. So by that time, I guess California is getting his eyes together, and, you know, that's the only time where I can say California wasn't at fault, because you just got maced. You trying to, you know, get your vision and stuff together. Like, you trying to comprehend what's going on. So I can't fault California in this situation. So pretty much Bimbo ended up getting locked up. The cops ended up, she kept trying to resist arrest or whatever. She got arrested. And from also what California told me is that Sweetie has other children with other men, but she has one daughter by California. I would say she's kind of a toddler. I think she's about she was 3 or 4 at this time. And so, Sweetie said that Bimbo maced her. Well, she tried to mace her, but she missed. And that she had her daughter in her hand. And I was just like, how disgusting. How disgusting. You trying to make it seem like these are about your children. This is not about your kids. This is about California. And that's the stuff I'm talking about with females. Y'all are so desperate to have a man in your life that y'all willing to go through and do stuff like this. For a dude he's not fighting hard for you like this. He's not going hard for you like that. A dude going to jail for no female. Let's be real. Come on. But you'll do it over and over and over again and still try to be with him, do everything to be with him. It's just sad. It's really sad. It's not even funny. It's not funny at all. It's sad. So she ended up getting locked up, and she got charged for assault, battery, and trespassing, I believe, in obstructing justice, or what's it called? Obstructing a police officer or whatever. I think it was obstructing a police officer, because from what California told me, she was getting into it with the officer and everything. So yeah, she pretty much got locked up after that. She ended up making bail like a couple days later, but this is the part. This is what happened. So before, I guess before she had even made her appearance at Sweetie's house, before she got locked up, before the whole fight, the altercation happened, Bimbo decided to, I guess she has a spare key, because her and California used to live together, like way a little bit back before he met me. She had a spare key to his car, and I guess he gave it to her to hold on to or something like that, which I don't understand why, but okay. Or maybe she took it or whatever and didn't know, because when I asked him about it, he was just like, she must have like stole it or kept it or held on to it, because I could have swore that I lost that or whatever, or I never knew what happened to it, but she must have held on to it. And I was like, okay. So turns out Bimbo had a spare key to California's car. His car was in the parking lot of Sweetie's apartment complex. That car was gone. She used that spare key, took his car, drove it to an unknown location. I still don't know to this day. I don't even think California knows to this day, because if he did know and he did say something, she could get, I guess, arrested for like taking property. I don't know what that's called, but yeah. And so when she cause see, I couldn't get to him. He didn't have a car. He didn't have a car at this point, because she took his car and hid it somewhere. I don't know. She took his car and hid it somewhere. I don't even know where she put it at. I was like, oh my goodness. And then when she got up, she wouldn't tell her where it was. She said, I can't go back to jail. Oh my goodness. She's weird, but I was just like, how do you steal this car? See, that's the definition of obsessed, pressed, and stressed over a guy. Because no, even if I was, I'm not doing that. Like, oh my God. But yeah, she pretty much was in jail for a couple days, whatever, until she made bail. And pretty much Sweetie got a order of protection, a restraining order against Bimbo, because prior to that altercation happening, Bimbo just kept popping up at her house all the time. And California wouldn't have to be there. Like, she would just be popping up. Like, she would just, you know, during this time when we started dating, I guess she didn't, in the beginning, the very, very, very beginning, she did not know about me. So she just assumed like he was dealing with, she assumed that Sweetie was dealing with California, but it wasn't. And Sweetie would just be looking at him like, what? And she was like, I don't got nothing to hide. I'm not. She reminded me of this a little bit. Not, but okay, whatever. But pretty much that's the end of the story or whatever. Because yeah, it get crazy and crazy. You think Bimbo stopped? Nope, she don't stop. She doesn't stop. She's not gonna stop. She did not stop. Nope. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it or whatever. And make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. Stop being weird. It's 2025. Stop being weird. Stop liking people's, stop viewing people's posts and viewing people's videos and not reacting. Stop viewing people's channels and videos and stuff and not reacting. Stop viewing people's TikToks and stuff and not reacting. It's very weird. It's weird. Don't engage if you're not gonna like give a response or a reaction or anything. It's all about positivity and stuff this year. So yeah. But tune in for the craziness next week. I might make a second one, a second video next Friday. But yeah, I just wanted to get a head start and get an early start because yeah, that's what happens when you deal with middle-aged people. They just as crazy as the young people. That's why I had to get me a little youngin'. That little youngin' in the bedroom back there. That's what I got now. Got a little youngin'. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and that's all for now. Bye.